Hi, I'm Shannon Seaver. Today we're going to look at multiplying rational expressions. On our agenda is to review multiplying fractions first of all. Then we're going to multiply monomial rational expressions and multiply polynomial rational expressions. So first, let's look at multiplying fractions. One of the things you need to remember when multiplying a fraction is you're going to multiply straight across. So you do not need a common denominator for this, but you're just going to multiply straight across. So in this case, this would be 2 times 1, so that would be 2 on the top. And the bottom would be 3 times 3, so it would be 9. So our final product of multiplying this particular fraction is 2/9. Notice that there was nothing that I could cancel out, so because there are no factors that are the same on the numerator or the denominator. However, on this one, excuse me, if I wrote this out, it's the same as saying 2 times 1 over 3 times 6. But I can simplify 6 by saying 3 times 2. And now you notice that they both have a 2, so I can cancel out that 2. And my final product on this will be 1/9. Okay, so one of the things I want you to know, when you're multiplying rational expressions, these are the 3 steps you need to do every time you multiply them. First of all, you want to factor both the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator. Then you want to simplify, cancel out anything that they have in common from the numerator to the denominator, and then you multiply. So let's look at this example here. We have 8 times 16p and 14p and 2p. So let's break all of that down. We can break down 8. We know that that breaks down into 4 and 2 and then 2 and 2. 16 is just one more of those, so it would be 2 and 8, 4 and 2, and 2 and 2. So let's rewrite this. We have 2 times 2 times 2. And then remember, I'm just going to write one fraction of this because we're multiplying straight across. And then we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's 4 of those and a p. Now let's look at the denominator. 14 breaks down into 2 and 7. So I could say 2 times 7 times p times 2 times p. Now that I have this all written out into their basic factors, I can actually go through and cancel. I can cancel out a 2 there. I can cancel out another 2 right here, and a p. So now let's multiply. We have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. If you multiply all that out, that's 32 on the top. And on the bottom, I have a 7 and a p, and there's no other number, so I'll just put 7p. So my final answer here is 32 over 7p. Now, let's do the same thing here. And first, we need to factor. Look at this binomial. What can you factor out of that? Well, I know that I can factor out a 5. So if I take out a 5, I have 7 plus x plus 7 left. On the bottom, there's not really anything I can factor out. I could make this into 2 3s, and that won't give us much. But let's look at what the final answer is here. We have a 1 times a 5 times an x plus 7 over 3 times 3 times x plus 7. And now notice that I'm keeping the binomials inside of parentheses. I can now cancel this here, and there's nothing else I can cancel on top and bottom. So I'm going to leave this as a 5 on the top. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 3 is 9, and an x. So my final answer here is 5 over 9x. We're going to want to do the same thing for this one. I can factor out a 6 on this, so I have x plus 2 left here. On this one, I could factor out a 6, and so I would have a 5x minus 4 here. But the last thing I need to do is I need to factor this one, and that one's going to take the box method. So let's do that right here. I have a 5x squared here and a 32. If I multiply that out, I'm going to get 5 times 2 is 10, 15, 160 x squared. we need to find our factors of 160x squared that add up to be a negative 44x. So there's several factors I could break this down into. I could say 16x and 10x, but 16 plus 10 is 26, and that's not negative 44. We could do a 4x and 40x. Well, 4x and 40x do add up to be negative 44. And notice that this is a negative, so because of that, both of these need to be negative. So let's put that in here, 4x and negative 40x. So what can I factor out of the top? Just an x. Out of this one right here, I could factor out an 8, and it's going to be a negative 8. On this column, I can factor out a 5x, and this column, it's going to be a negative 4. So let's rewrite this here. We have x minus 8 and 5x minus 4. Now, let's simplify. What can we cancel out? Well, we can cancel out this 6. We can cancel out this right here. And what are we left with? If we multiply straight across, we have x plus 2, x minus 8, over 9. And there's nothing to multiply over here but a 1 now, so it's going to be a 9 on the bottom. So our final answer on this, in factored form, is x plus 2 times x minus 8 over 9.